Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you are amazing. I tossed and turned last night, and the reason for that is because I released a video on Monday saying what it's really like for a full-time trader. And there's some really positive response on that, saying that a lot of people don't understand how much effort and nerves it takes, not to mention the capital requirements. This is from Traders Weekly saying trading full time is not for 99% of people. All right. So he's right in the sense, or he or she is right in the sense that most traders want for a better life and they hope that the market can provide that for them so that they can have whatever it is that they want. For example, more time with their kids, to work on their own terms, and so on. All right. Unfortunately, those who take the leap of faith and then jump out don't always land up on their feet, jump out of their previous job security, that is. So when reading this and seeing the positive interaction on this video, I started to think to myself, maybe it's a good idea that we start talking about trading and focus in on the challenges of trading. Coincidentally, there was a paper trading competition that's just kicked off called The Leap. And it's a 30-day showdown where traders, somehow I'm still learning about it, compete against each other, risk-free. It's just fun competition, but the prizes are up to 45,000 split down to the first five ranks. Now, I have entered this, but I'm not entering to win. I'm entering to show you guys what it's like in the real markets. Okay, the temptations of what it takes to be a full-time trader, and the frustrations as well, because I've been trading on personal account money, and it sucks for many reasons, right? Thankfully, my loose stop loss was set over here to be in a trade, but to take profit in the trade where I entered over here took a long time. It took about at least over a week. So just waiting for a week for price to get from there to around here, I only earned 30% profit on my own money, right? So even with the 10x leverage, that is pretty disheartening because I show up every day. I've put years of experience behind me into this realm. And for those who need confirmation and such, joined 6 years ago, all these accolades, like I've been around, right? So I've put all the energy in, and then like we go through a rough period here on the market. We have to reset the low accordingly, try to find the correct market structure, get it right as soon as possible. And then the market move happens. I don't get stopped out. It gets to my target and closes for just like 38% profit. And then it goes further down. Now, obviously, profit is profit, right? And that's fine. But all of that work just for 38% profit is like really disheartening. And it's my third or fourth win of late, and I haven't really been trading. I've been more focusing on the development of the AI to trade on my behalf. But I thought if I'm going to have a competition between man and machine, then I also got to show my results as well, not just the machine's results. And I can't just say hearsay stuff in terms of, yeah, I came into range and that's what worked out, so I'm going to take that as a win. Like, that doesn't really count in the real world. What really counts in the real world is hard fact. It's that history, P&L, the make or break. And did you succeed or did you fail? And how big did you fail? How frequently did you fail? Etc. So I just thought, all right, let's do something cool. Let's make a course on trading. Now, a course on trading takes a lot, just by the way. So that's the topic I want to get across. Is this the course on trading, and then coincidentally, this competition kicked off today, and so on. So I thought, how do I make the course? Well, I could go old school with it and record the course and try take out the bloopers and get rid of the ums and the ahs and read off of a teleprompter to make sure that I don't forget any points and have all that stuff curated and chronologically available. But I thought, I mean, that's fine for learning how to chart, but learning how to trade isn't completely well represented by something that's glossy. And a lot of guys out there have got either very complicated courses with a lot of language that no one really uses in their day-to-day life. So they spend a lot of time feeling intimidated by these gurus, where in fact what it needs to be is something simple and easy and practical. As well as it's got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tangible or realistic. Proven in the real world, believable. It's got to be believable. And a lot of guys can Photoshop results and they can fabricate Excel documents and get all these accolades and so forth. But there's nothing like real world results in real time to compete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos starting from the 1st of May, from today, on TradingView, and then download that. Unfortunately, I have no control over the quality, but download that as a trade journal per se, and then document all of the hardships that a trader goes through. In terms of patience, in terms of market restructure, in terms of the egoism, when a trade gets clocked in, the not following the rules or following the rules and all that kind of stuff, and also just monitoring my progress and growth throughout the experience, so that maybe some of the points will hit home and you guys will be able to relate. Also, should I do well, that's also proof, I suppose, that it can be done, because you'll be witnessing it happening on the fly as well as in live market conditions, and something you can't really bullshit, right? Because the markets in live conditions are the most honest and truthful environments you could get, basically. It's just like blockchain. I can't refabricate this, and there's no point doing that, because you'll look on your own screens to see the price action is different, and I'll be caught out immediately. Like, there's no way of jippoing the system. Like, it's absolutely truthful, vulnerable, raw, and open. So here's an introduction to say that I have entered this competition. I don't necessarily aim to win it, and I'll even make a segment on that. Reason being is that to win, I think you have to make the most. But in real life conditions, you don't aim to make the most. You aim to remain in the game, and you aim to remain profitable. And a lot of guys don't need $10,000 a week to live. They just need maybe $5,000 a month to kind of be happy and comfortable. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but there are some out there. And so over here, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be trading in real life conditions, knowing when to step back, dedicating myself to waiting for the best setups and trading those setups, and just showing you what it's like in the real world, including the temptation of seeing this market go down, closing in over here, waiting so long for this move to happen, not really feeling satisfied with the win, and then wanting to go to a low time frame, and then because the market's finally going down, to have a tight stop loss over there and just cowboy these moves into the arcs down here. So there's a lot of temptation, but I am happy to say that I'm definitely a lot more mature. I mean, Bitcoin's dropped from like 64,000 down to 57,000. And on a side note, I'd love to know what the news is saying, because there's probably some thing to do with some bullshit that doesn't really exist in the real world. Meanwhile, what is real, of course, as we've been speaking about in the different videos, is the position of where price is relative to the Gann square and what that means to the cycle overall. And obviously, there's no one hero here in the MTOPS strategy. It's all of it together: market structure, time, oscillator price, support, and resistance. So this is what's real, not what the news is saying. The news can maybe just be like a catalyst or something to that effect to encourage behavior to support what's going to happen anyway. But no one should actually take it more seriously than that. So another thing, I suppose, in terms of today being the first day, is I want to start off with an introduction. And as you can tell, I barely brush my hair anymore. I'm unkept, and like I've got some weird stuff on the background. I didn't put it up there. It kind of came with my home office, so I just left it up because I'm lazy like that, I suppose. I'm more focused on what's happening on the markets than the decorations on the wall. And the only time I really get to see what's on the wall is in this like camera. So don't judge me if you don't like the pictures back there, is what I'm trying to say. I think what I'm trying to say is, as an introduction, I actually wrote out a lot of stuff that I needed to clear up. And last night, when I felt compelled and fired up to take on this challenge and to spend the next month with you, because what I was going to do, and I'm probably going to do it anyway, it's just serendipitous that it didn't happen yesterday. I went for my login details from FTMO, the prop firm that I showed you guys. And the reason being is I paid in crypto, and that's like a whole balance and check thing with the support team. So there's waiting to match that up, and for some reason they take very long to reply. But I'm just waiting for my login details there, and I'm going to have a live challenge alongside this this competition here, and I'm going to show you guys the real the hardships of trading, and see whether or not it's something that you're actually interested overall. And then what I'll do is I'll download these poor quality videos, just the way it is, and then chop them up and take the best of it and turn that into a course. So in a way, you guys are getting, I'd say I'm going to charge a number of hundreds of dollars. So you guys are getting quite an expensive course for free by witnessing this in the real-time environment. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So last night, I can't really show you because I'm only sharing the training view window, but I'll read it out. Last night, I did a mind map, and I started with the mind map of just being brutally honest and raw with myself, and that's something that I recommend you do with yourself as well. And very much like what little girls get fed about Disney princesses and being that unrealistic fantasy never materializing kind of setup, said differently, like guys watch stock market movies or whatever, and they get this character, this actor that's been paid to portray some hobnob that wears Ralph Lauren and sits with his feet up on the boat, and a little bit like Wolf of Wall Street. Only Wolf of Wall Street was a scam artist who ruined a lot of families, and was an absolute dick about it. So that is not exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the guys who would be named like Brad or Chad. Like, you know who I'm talking about, right? So I'm talking about those investment banker kind of archetypes. And I guess when I was trading and portraying myself as a trader, those kind of banker wanker attitude was what I was trying to give off as well, or like move towards, because psychologically I saw that as the goal, and or the person that was needed to be on the markets to win. And from experience, I can say that that's not how I win. So this time I'm going to approach it differently. And so my notes say, as the main header to the rest is, who is the loser? And I got raw with myself, and I started writing down who is the loser on the market and what are the attributes that the loser might, like the version of my loser, would follow, to go back to where I was and to also make literal losses. And the approach that I've got is, when in corporate and having my own businesses and putting myself through college and getting my MBA and buying my first car and stuff, I had a very dogged, dominant hunter approach. That was my archetype according to the career people who would put tests out, and I have to answer questions, and I come out as a dominant hunter. So they always put me into marketing and sales and executive positions and all that kind of stuff, strategic roles. However, I can say now that when it comes to the markets, it's not that. So let me just get through where I was, and then afterwards, or maybe tomorrow, because I'm running out of time here, I'll speak to who I aim to become. The dominant hunter has that kind of a feeling that no one's got his back. He's hardened, like kind of short breath, and egoic sort of thing, just like having to look slick and just have the facade of a tie and all that kind of stuff to look good and show everyone that he's the man. Like, that's the kind of thing that I'm moving away from, and I've been there, done that. It doesn't kind of feel aligned and authentic to what it will take to win on the markets long term. Another thing about the approach I used to have was, I used to be tense, and I used to be like overly alert, fight or flight, ready for anything at any time. So I never relaxed. I couldn't relax. And I had this illusion that I can handle many markets all of the time, because there's always something happening. There's always opportunity. And that eventually just kills you. But I won't tell you the aftermath. I'll just continue this. And then it became I had adopted an addictive personality. It's the thrill and the rush and feeling motivated because of these endless opportunities at any one time, which eventually just exhausted me, and I just became so numb and unhealthy, just never wanting to leave the screens, because maybe there's something that's happening that I'm going to miss, and that FOMO just trapped me. Then I've got other notes here about being the obsessive compulsive, checking the charts too much, creating unnecessary confusion, because you get tired, so you start to see patterns or things that aren't there. You stop listening to the market and you start putting your own will onto the market. So I became that person. Also blinded by the pressure of trading, not respecting the process, rushing the charts and the moves as I've set up, and putting down setups ahead of time where I should have waited, as well as in terms of rushing the process. What I would do is enough was never enough. If I took a profit there, and obviously I waited all of this time to get that profit, then I'll enter the position, or really add up to it, and then ride that down, try and milk it all that it can. In the past, to only have it kind of stop early and then just bounce out this other direction, get back to entry, and I'll be quite frustrated, and it didn't work out well for a lot of the time. So I didn't just commit to one trade and then wait for the rebuild and then trade that trade. And something I didn't put here is that I try to make 8 trades a day. I try to get the open bell, trying to get the mid-morning rush, I try to get after lunch, and I try to get the closing bell, just on many markets, and then on very sensitive time frames. So getting into the greedy elements, my position sizes were irrational. Reason being is because I just felt this is going to be, if I'm putting effort in and how valuable my time is, then I need to be paid handsomely for it, because I worked hard. But there is numbers and stuff that we have to respect. So I'm just going to read through real quick, so I'm running out of time. In terms of greedy, it was irrational position sizes. I traded too often. I used to just watch the trade and used to close too soon because I lost patience. The stop loss was too tight, so I could maximize the outcome, and obviously sometimes got punished for that. Not being satisfied with the win, always feeling like I deserved more. I was impulsive, overreactive, overly focused on the chart, and when I had a trade winning, again, I would close too early and too emotional and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is I've got really raw, and you can do that with yourself, and identified what didn't work and leave that in the past and redesign a new person that you're going to witness unfold towards the journey of success and to what works. So that's it for today.